Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today I'm going to give you 10 tobacco style fragrances that I think you should know about. So let's jump into it. All right, so today we are talking tobacco style fragrances, and who doesn't like a good tobacco style fragrance? I love me a good tobacco style fragrance. I'm assuming you like tobacco style fragrances because you clicked on this video. So I got 10 of them from my collection that, holy smokes, these are great fragrances. So let's quit screwing around and let's get into it. All right, so kicking things off, we're gonna start with one I consider to be a classic, and that is Burberry's London. Now you can pick this bad boy up for about $35 at discounters. I'm gonna have links down in the description to this one as well as all the other fragrances in this video if you decide you wanna check any of these out. And look how adorable this bottle is. He's got his like neat little like sweater on almost. It's just a nice little touch to how this comes across as just a great holiday Christmas style fragrance for me. That's just what it reminds me of every single time I wear it, and I know I'm not alone in that department. This is just a sweet, spicy cherry tobacco, a little bit of leather, and a really nice cinnamon that goes in this. It just, for me, just screams the holiday season, screams Christmas time, just warm, cozy, inviting, awesome, delicious, sweet style fragrance on the masculine side, but it is still kind of fun and playful and a little lighthearted. Great for evenings out, date nights, those kind of occasions. Performance on this about average, about 6 hours, and projection is a little moderate on this one, but this is perfect. You go to your Christmas party, you smell delicious, you smell like a cherry tobacco man with a little bit of cinnamon. Awesome fragrance. Definitely think you should be checking this one out. It's Burberry's London. All right, next up on the list, we got one from the house of Maison Alhambra, and that is Hercules. Now you can pick this one up for about $30 at discounters. It can be a little bit tricky to find, but lucky for you, I have a link down in the description so you can go check this one out if you decide. This is apparently a clone of Parfums de Marly's Herod. For $30, this will get you pretty close. This will get you in the neighborhood. Again, it's a $300 fragrance, the Parfums de Marly. What are you expecting from a $30 fragrance? Get you in the neighborhood. You know, if you want to call it a direct clone, sure, but it's get you in the neighborhood. That's all I'm gonna say. Sweet, a little bit spicy, a touch of smoke, some nice woods, and a really nice kind of fruity floralness that goes into this with a nice kind of vanilla tobacco dry down. Awesome, awesome fragrance. I really enjoy how this one comes across. Just the right level of sweetness, but it does have the kind of boldness that goes into it, the masculine side that goes into it, but it's also kind of fun and flirty and a little bit playful at the same time. Really, really nice tobacco style fragrance. Performance on this is about average, about 6 hours of longevity, and pushes out for about an hour, hour and a half before it does settle back in. But I'm a bit of an oversprayer with this one because I just love this style of tobacco fragrance. Definitely think you should be checking it out. That's Maison Alhambra's Hercules. All right, and up next we have one of the cringiest bottles in this list, and it's Diesel's Only the Brave Tattoo. Yes, I said it. It is a bit of a cringy bottle. It's got that typical Diesel Only the Brave fist. But who cares? Because this smells absolutely fantastic. This opens very, very sweet. I have to get some in the air because I really do enjoy this one quite a bit. Very, very sweet. It has like a fruity apple note at the top, and then it has some pepper, it has some woods, and a really nice tobacco that mixes in there. This one kind of caught me off guard when I first smelt it because I didn't think this was going to be a tobacco fragrance based on that opening. It does open very sweet, very youthful, very sort of playful in that sense, and so I thought this was going to be kind of like, I don't know, like an Invictus Aqua bubblegummy sweet style of fragrance, but it does kind of go from that youthful edge into this kind of more of a mature, woodsy tobacco style fragrance. The tobacco in the woods take a little bit time to kind of come out, but it dries down to a nice, warm, cozy woods with that tobacco. It's a really nice balance of kind of that sweetness that goes into it with that kind of masculine woods and tobacco and that little bit of spice that plays in there. It's really well blended and really well balanced in that way. It still has kind of a bold masculine side to it, but it also kind of a fun, flirty, sexy, youthful kind of side to it. Really awesome fragrance. I did not expect to get the quality out of this that I actually did for a diesel fragrance, and the performance on this really surprised me. Like 8+ hours off my skin, no problem, and this does project for the first hour and a half, 2 hours, pretty far out before it does settle in. So performance on this is absolutely fantastic. For like $38 at discounters, this is a steal of a deal, and you can also find this at rack stores nowadays. That's where I picked this one up. So I definitely think you should check this one out. It's Diesel Only the Brave Tattoo. All right, next up we got one from the house of Armaf, and it's Armaf's Radical Brown. Now you can pick this up for about $27, and this is said to be another kind of inspired by clone of Parfums de Marly's Herod. Some people even said this is kind of a Bulgarian Man in Black Orient twist. Maybe, sort of, 50% I'd say. But what it is a really nice fragrance. If you can get past the bottle, because Armaf's done it again, this is probably the cheapest cap I have in my entire collection, and the bottle is not terrible, but is what it is. It smells fantastic though. Nice, sweet, spicy cherry tobacco style fragrance. It's got some nice cinnamon in there, and it has kind of a nice fruity, almost sweet florals to it, some lavender, some labdanum that's mixed in there. And again, it dries down to this nice woodsy, ambery, cherry tobacco style base. This does open up very bright, almost sort of kind of soft in the very beginning. It's actually quite nice. And as this kind of transitions to the dry down, you go from that brightness into a little bit more warm powderiness from that amber with that cherry tobacco in there and kind of a nice wood base. And it's a very pleasant, really enjoyable tobacco style fragrance. Performance on this leaves something to be desired. About 5-6 hours, you're gonna have to reapply this one. And projection is moderate at best. It doesn't push out too far, but it is a really nice fragrance. The dry down on this is actually really enjoyable. I quite like this one. Fun, flirty, playful, nice casual wear style of fragrance. I think for $27, this is definitely worth checking out. That's Armaf's Radical Brown. All right, up next, we got one that you're probably anticipating, and if you're not, you should. It's Dolce & Gabbana's The One Eau de Parfum. Now you can pick this one up for about $50 for a 50 ml bottle, and worth every single penny. This is, in my opinion, a bit of a modern masterpiece. The scent profile in this is absolutely fantastic. It's just a warm, spicy, ambery tobacco. It opens up with a bit of a citrus kind of pop to it, the sparkling ginger, and this beautiful, fresh, spicy style of cardamom. And then it dries down into this gorgeous, warm, ambery style of tobacco. This is just like a sexy, sensual, addictive style of fragrance that is just renowned for being a great date night fragrance, evening out fragrance, and I just can't get enough of this one. I absolutely adore The One Eau de Parfum. Now, everyone, I can already hear people screaming in the comment section about the performance on this, and you're probably right if you're saying that it kind of sucks, because it does kind of suck. Even the Eau de Parfum is not the greatest performer. I get 5 hours, 6 hours off of my skin, and I really gotta kind of get close to smell it at that point. And the projection is fairly non-existent in a lot of ways. This is off my skin. Some people might get better performance, but I do not. The rumors are true. It doesn't perform out that well. Even the Eau de Parfum doesn't perform out that well. But the scent profile on this is so freaking good that I don't care. I'll keep reapplying this. It does have that like inviting, cozy, kind of cuddle up style of scent profile to it. So that's what I use it for. I use it to cuddle up with someone that I want to smell my warm ambery tobacco. Excellent fragrance. You probably already heard of it, but if you haven't tried it out, I think you should get your nose on it because it's absolutely fantastic. Dolce & Gabbana's The One Eau de Parfum. All right, up next, we're gonna move away from the kind of sexy time, sweet cherry tobacco style fragrances, and we're gonna move into a more manly man's tobacco style fragrance, and that is Ophun's Tobacco Rush. Now you can pick this one up for about $45 at discounters, and I just love this style of tobacco fragrance. It's such a nice change of pace from kind of the sweet ones that you get on the occasion. Oh, this one is just a very rich, dry, leathery style of tobacco fragrance. It has some fresh spice in there, a tiny bit of sweetness in there, a nice wood base, some amber as well, tiny, tiny touch of oud that's apparently in there that I don't really pick up that much. And it's just an awesome, bold, masculine, rugged style of tobacco fragrance. Like, just think cowboy on a saddle kind of idea. Like, just a really rugged style of tobacco fragrance. And it's so well blended. That sweetness and that amberiness just add to that dryness and just round out the edges, so it's not like overbearingly leathery, rich tobacco, just that nice amount of sweetness to it, little bit of powderiness that comes through, and the performance on this is fantastic. 8+ hours off my skin, no problem, and this does push for the first 2 hours fairly well. One of my favorite pickups in the last couple months. I highly recommend you check this one out. It's Ophun's Tobacco Rush. All right, next up on the list, this wouldn't be a tobacco list unless I included this one, and that is Mancera's Red Tobacco. Now you can pick this one up for about $60 to $110, depending on what size you want to get at various discounters. This one is just a warm, spicy, rich, sort of smoky and very in-your-face style of tobacco fragrance. If you can get past the opening of this one, you will probably really enjoy this one. The opening on this is brash. This is gonna smack you in the face. Like, you might not even enjoy it. I don't mind it too much because I'm a glutton for punishment a little bit sometimes. But the opening is crazy. It's a little bit wild. It's very sweet. It's very pungent. It's very tobacco-y, cherry madness that kind of happens at the beginning. But if you let this settle down, you let this dry down, you get this beautiful vanilla oud that kind of moves into it. And then you get this rich, warm, sort of spicy cherry tobacco with like a touch of smoke that's in the dry down. Absolutely fantastic dry down. If you can make it there, it's absolutely glorious. I love the dry down on this, and it lasts forever. You're gonna get 12 plus hours of longevity off this one. This was in a certified beast mode. This one blasts off your skin, 2-3 sprays, you are more than good to go. So if you're a heavy sprayer like I am, like, just you gotta rein yourself back in on this one, because you are gonna blow people out. And if you spray this on and you jump in an elevator right away, you might kill somebody. That's the opening is just, it's too much. So be careful in the sprays. That's all I'm saying, giving you a warning. But this is a beast mode fragrance, and the scent profile on this is absolutely gorgeous. The dry down on this is just, I can't get enough of it. Definitely think you should be checking it out. It's Mancera's Red Tobacco. All right, next up, I got a bit of a twofer for you guys. I wanted to talk about Mugler's Pure Havana, but I also am going to talk about Rayon Traditions Insurrection 2 Wild. Because this one is so hard to find now. Mugler's Pure Havana is impossibly hard to find. It has been discontinued. You can find it on eBay, and I've seen it range from everywhere between like $150 all the way up to $500 for a brand new in box. And nobody, well, I'm not gonna pay $500 for this. As great of a fragrance as this is, I'm not paying $500 for this, because we do have an alternative that'll get you about 80, maybe 90% there if I'm being really generous, in Rayon Traditions Insurrection Wild 2. This is a fantastic cherry tobacco, pipe tobacco style fragrance. It's got this sweet honeyed sort of vibe going on to it. It's got some vanilla, some cacao that mixes in there, a little bit of spice, and it's just a beautiful, almost direct clone of Mugler's Pure Havana. Yes, there are differences between the two. It is not a direct clone. This is definitely an inspired by, though, when you smell this one. Just thick, syrupy, sexy, sensual, perfect for date nights, evenings out. Performance on this is great, like 6, 7, 8 hours of longevity off my skin, and it does push out really nice for the first hour and a half, 2 hours before it does settle back in. For $20, this is a steal of a deal, and this is a great replacement for Mugler's Pure Havana. I definitely think you should be checking out if you haven't already. That's Rayon Traditions Insurrection 2 Wild. All right, up next, we're moving into kind of more of the cigar style of tobacco fragrance, where you kind of get a nice rolled cigar that you kind of run under your nose. You walk into a cigar shop or lift open a humidor. That's what you get with Haramain's Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. Now, admittedly, this might be my favorite on the list. I like all the fragrances I've talked about so far, but like this one, I just can't get enough of this one. I love the scent profile on this. It just reminds me of that rolled cigar. It has just a beautiful kind of dry tobacco leaf with this mix of spices and this clove note that comes out. And this clove note just adds so much character to this spice medley. It's absolutely gorgeous. You get some vanilla and some cacao that kind of come through, some warm kind of woodsy, ambery base to this. And it's just an absolutely gorgeous, gentlemanly, sort of sophisticated, bold, but also kind of like rugged and sort of fun, playful, sexy at the same time. It's just an awesome fragrance. It reminds you of like lifting up a humidor or walking into a cigar shop. Beautiful medley of spices, just the right amount of sweetness, and that dry tobacco leaf. Warm, inviting, sexy style fragrance for $45, $50. I definitely think it's worth every penny. It's Haramain's Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. All right, and last, but certainly not least, got one from the House of Paris Corner, and it's Paris Corner's Charuto Tobacco Vanille. Now you can pick this bad boy up for $25, and let me tell you, you are getting more bang for your buck than you would be expecting. This is one of my new favorite fragrances. I picked this up about a month, maybe a little bit longer ago, and I am so happy with this purchase. It's probably one of my best purchases in the last couple months here. For the price point, this is just absolutely fantastic. Again, it's like the Haramain in terms of that rolled cigar sort of feel, but it does kind of veer off a little bit from the Haramain. It opens up with this fresh, warm spiciness, but the spicy is more intense in this one. It's a very intense sort of spicy, but it's also kind of very light and aromatic at the same time. It's a very interesting sort of cigar spiciness that comes through. As this kind of opens up a little bit, you do get some of that sweetness, some of that vanilla, some of that cacao, and that dry tobacco leaf. Again, like a rolled cigar that you kind of run under your nose, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's got that same sort of kind of sexy, sophisticated, yet rugged style of vibe going on to it. A very masculine style of fragrance. Performance on this is pretty good too. It's 6 to 8 hours off my skin, and it does push out for a decent amount for the first hour and a half, 2 hours. Because of that kind of aromatic spiciness to this, this does push out quite a bit, but it does settle back down in, and it's just a gorgeous scent bubble. Again, I just can't stop smelling myself when I wear this one. Absolutely love it. For $25, you can't go wrong. Definitely think it's worth checking out. That's Paris Corner's Charuto Tobacco Mini. So there you have it. Those are 10 tobacco style fragrances in my collection that I think are absolute bangers. I want to hear from you guys. What is one of your favorite tobacco style fragrances? Leave a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love getting your recommendations. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.